and Tobago. I want you to join me on the live very early today. Very, very early today. I want you to join me on the live because I want you to be a part of a video that I want to show. And I think the video is full of content to bring some sort of explanation to what is going on. You know, it have all the mouters, you know, people saying that this haven't happened, this never happened, or the situation with the 4 gentlemen who lost their life, and condolences to their family. And I want to join the. I haven't put in my 2 cents in the conversation, but I want to put in my 2 cents into the conversation by showing a video. And the video have some content that I think is relevant to the discussion that is happening on many radio stations. Plenty of people talking, and they're just talking because they have a mouth to talk, and you know, people make it look as though it's like something. Yeah. So this video I saw this video making its rounds around social media, and I think the video brings some clarity and some sort of constructive discussion concerning the issue. I've listened. I've heard people with their ignorance about this situation with these 5 divers. I've heard people with constructive discussions with this situation with these divers. I'm going to have a discussion about it today. And I'm going to play a video before I have the discussion. So that's why I'm urging you now to join me on Facebook and on YouTube so that we can have this sensible discussion on the issue. I hear people with the I hear in them. There are people who now bring in politics into it. You know, there are people who have been saying that, you know, it's a state-owned company, so the state has to take full responsibility for what happened. And those are the things that you're hearing. And I am just about ready to talk about it, but in a constructive way. And my constructive way of talking about it will be via a video that I'm going to show. I'm urging you to come on to YouTube, come on to Facebook, look at the video with me, share the live, and let's look at this video and let's analyze this thing properly and not get emotional and ignorant. Because we can listen to all the emotional rhetoric out there, right? And not look at the reality of it, of what really took place. All right, so getting ready to go for my Royal Castle meal tip of the day. And then when I come back from that, I expect, you know, all my viewers to be on with me today. And we all my persons in the chat, and my listeners, right after the Royal Castle, I'm going to play it, the video. So I'm expecting you to come on the live, share the live. Please share the live, and come on. And let us deal with this constructively.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
So we're going for Royal Castle and come back. When we come back, I expect to see all of you on my live, and you're going to share it, and we're going to talk about it in a constructive manner.
This season of Lent, get more options from Royal Castle with their 3 tasty meal specials. Meals made with the freshest fish, seasoned with the Castle's appetizing Trini ingredients and cooked to golden perfection. Choose from the fish combo, 2 succulent pieces of fish, 1 side and a 16-ounce soft drink, or the fish sandwich combo of a tender, tasty sandwich, 1 side and a 16-ounce soft drink, or even a flavorful veggie combo option of a sandwich, a side and a 16-ounce soft drink. Get more options from Royal Castle, our culture, our taste for Lent.
Thinking of what to have for lunch or dinner? Here's a meal tip from Royal Castle. If you're on the go and want something easy to eat, try Royal Castle's Golden Chicken Nuggets. Enjoy these golden, tender, and tasty bite-sized treats. of 10 pieces of nuggets, one side and a 16-ounce soft drink with your choice of honey mustard or barbecue sauce. And not forgetting the kids. The Castle has a kids nugget combo too, of 4 pieces of nuggets, one side and a 16-ounce soft drink, and our nuggets are made with the same delicious local flavors that we're famous for. It's the Royal Castle Golden Chicken Nuggets. Our culture, our taste.
What goes in is a local something that makes it all taste better. It's the flavor of our culture. Come from here, come from there, and everywhere. It's the special flavor that's made us savor at the Royal Castle. Oh, come the Royal Castle. Royal Castle. Flavor to the bone. Royal Castle. Taste the very own. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Taste the unique flavor of our culture at Royal Castle.
That was today's meal tip from Royal Castle.
Entertainment, information, conversation. All on Street 91.9 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Share the line. Share the line. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the line. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the line. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the line. The Street 919 FM.
All right, so I am back with you and I'm about to show the video. Let me say good afternoon to all of you on the live. Thanks very much for joining me. And I'm going straight into the video. You all know we don't have much time, so we're going to go straight into the video. And with this video, we're going to have the discussion today on what took place with those divers in Paria. What took place? What really happened? And this video is going to bring some clarity to that. All right? People need to do research before they run on radio and talk their nonsense and bring emotionalism into it. Listen to this.
This is a partial list of the commercial diving fatalities over the past 15 years. All have one common cause: Delta P. 2 out of 3 commercial diving fatalities involve Delta P. It is invisible to a diver, and it strikes suddenly, without warning. There is almost no way to escape once it grabs you. Knowing what it is, where it lurks, and how to avoid its grasp is the subject of this video. Delta P stands for differential pressure. Our discussion refers to situations where the pressures between 2 bodies of water are dramatically different. In a situation like this, the bodies of water continuously seek to equalize themselves. In this example, the body of water on the right wants to rush to the body of water on the left by means of the pipe between them. The pressure exerted on the valve stopping this water transfer can be enormous, depending on the difference in the depths of the water and the diameter of the pipe. If the difference between the depth of water is 50 feet and the diameter of the pipe is 10 inches, the force of water exerted on the valve is nearly 1,700 pounds. If the valve was suddenly opened and your arm was near, it would be sucked into the hole instantly. Trying to remove your arm would be like trying to lift a car completely off the ground with one hand. You could only remove your arm if the pressures between the 2 bodies became nearly equalized. But at the pressure in this example, your body makes a perfect seal, stopping the bodies of water from equalizing. The formula for calculating the force of water through a hole at a particular depth is the area of the hole multiplied by the difference in water depth, multiplied by the psi per foot of water depth. Or, in the situation just described, the 10-inch hole equals 78 square inches times 50 feet of water depth times 0.432 psi per foot of freshwater depth equals 1,685 pounds of water pressure. If you are diving in salt water, be sure to use 0.445 psi in your formula instead. You can't see or feel a delta P situation as you dive near it. It grabs you suddenly, and it doesn't let go until the pressure is equalized. When it's got you, it's got you. As you watch the following recreations of actual delta P incidents, ask yourself if you have, on occasion, ventured into situations without being thoroughly prepared. Diver 1 enters the water behind the dam structure in order to clean the strainer of the dam's drain. When the drain is cleared, the tremendous force of rushing water through the drain grabs hold of Diver 1, sucks him partially inside, and traps him. Diver 2 enters the water to help Diver 1 and becomes trapped also. Diver 3 enters the water to rescue Divers 1 and 2, and after 40 minutes returns to the surface with both divers. They are dead. Diver 3 was hospitalized for injuries suffered in the rescue attempts. A scuba diver was repairing a pool bottom at a depth of 10 feet. He came close to the open pool drain and was drawn against it. His body made a perfect seal against the drain. He was diving alone and had no tender at the surface. No one knew he was trapped. He ran out of air and drowned. Two scuba divers entered a water tower to unclog a drain. Using a fire hose to blast away the silt and mud that was clogging the drain suddenly opened. A great suction immediately occurred. Diver 1 was pulled into the drain. Visibility was 0. Diver 2 did not know that this had occurred. Diver 2 surfaced, thinking Diver 1 had already come up. Diver 2 made repeated but unsuccessful attempts to find him. Diver 1 ran out of air and died. Neither diver was tethered to the surface, had communication with the surface, or with each other. A surface-supplied diver was working offshore in 86 feet of water on a well re-entry project. He was using a drill string to hook a trash cap inside a 13-inch well casing. The first attempt failed to catch the cap. The diver was asked to stand by the hole to make sure the string caught the cap. He reported when he saw the cap was hooked and began to leave. The drill string was pulled to the surface rapidly. Because the cap was nearly the size of the casing, a great suction developed. As the cap came free, the rushing water grabbed the diver and forced one leg into the hole, up to the pelvis. The diver was killed. Diver 1 enters the water at a hydroelectric generation plant. His assignment is to seal off leaks in a large gate valve. The 3-person dive team is assured by the plant's operating personnel that the gate valve is closed. Diver 1 surfaces and reports that he thinks the valves are open. The winch is started and closes the valve. A 30-inch sluice gate is manually cranked shut. The dive team questions the plant personnel. The valve indicator shows the valve not fully closed. Plant personnel reply that the indicator is never correct, and typically the valve is cranked until tight. Diver 1 re-enters the water, convinced that everything is okay. In a few moments, he begins to scream. The dive supervisor tries to contact Diver 1 on the intercom. The tender and supervisor pull the lifeline and umbilical. Both have broken from their attach points. The gates are cycled open while waiting for the rescue divers. 2 attempts by the company diver failed to locate Diver 1. 12 hours later, Diver 1's body is recovered. When you accept a new job, make sure you take part in a pre-job meeting.
How are you, Rick? Good.
Be sure that you understand the layout of the site and how the piping and valve systems work together. The diving supervisor should have a simplified but site-specific schematic of the site and a diving checklist to make sure nothing is on or open that shouldn't be. Your client also needs to know about Delta P. If they take your concerns lightly, make sure they understand the life-threatening hazards. Always practice lockout-tagout procedures. These are tried and true methods that can eliminate machinery and valve accidents if practiced religiously. Make sure to consider the potential Delta P hazards of your new assignment when choosing your equipment. Make sure others in the water and on the surface can tell exactly where you are. They should be able to communicate with you at all times and be able to get you out if you're stuck.
Yeah, Tom check. Roger.
Make sure your equipment won't interfere or become fouled if you must be near a Delta P situation. There are certain techniques that you can use to help reduce and even eliminate Delta P hazards. The first step is to recognize the potential forces working on each other in your environment. Learn the layout of the site and how the system functions. Calculate the force of water at the depth you're working based on the size of the openings at that depth. Instead of cutting holes to drain water or relieve pressure, cut slots. If your body or equipment can't make a good seal against the flow of water, you can't get stuck. Fabricate a cover for the drain that has a screen, or make a cover that has more than one hole a good distance away from the other. The idea is the water can still get through even if your body gets in the way. The goal of this video is to make you aware of the potential for differential pressure situations. The key is to recognize them beforehand and make sure you are prepared to deal with them. Because when it's gotcha, it's gotcha. Don't add your name to this list.
So that is how I wanted to start my show today. I wanted to start my show today with this level of information. And the trolls are already out. We're seeing where the trolls are coming out on our live and having their foolish say. I'm not going to focus on them today. We're focusing on, I want to hear from you after we come back from the COVID-19 update. I'll open up the phone lines and hear from you. What is your take on what you heard? Now, I will tell you from what I heard, I'll tell you what my take is. So when we come back from the COVID-19 update, we're going to open up the phone lines and talk. And having their foolish say. I'm not going to focus on them today. We're focusing on, I want to hear from you.
Updates. In case you missed it, the latest COVID positive cases in TNT as of March 1st, 2022 stands at new positive cases 378, total active cases 21,777, total recovered patients 102,736, total positive cases for COVID-19 as of March 2020 to present 128,145. Follow the Ministry of Health COVID-19 protocols. Wear your mask, sanitize, social distance, and avoid gatherings. A message from the Street 919 FM.
All right, so that was our COVID-19 update, and I'm about to open up the phone lines. 342-0081, 342-0081. What do you think about the documentary that you just heard, and what is your thoughts about the documentary that you just heard on the situation? Now, I was again, when I listen to some of these radio stations, I just get so annoyed because I heard a owner of a radio station saying to his listeners that he wants to hear what BP and Shell have to say about this. And this is the first time, this is what he's saying, This is the first time people die in a situation like this. I stood up there and I was like, are we serious? Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor. How are you?
I am cool.
Pastor, I'm thankful that you saw this because I have done a research myself and I saw some things and similar to that. And I was asking people, with the claims of wanting justice and the claim of, I even heard somebody talk about using the word murder, which apparently seems to be a nice and familiar word that they have been using, bantering around now. Every accident is a murder as far as some people are concerned, but then the same people who claiming this are the same ones who go in and asking for bail for murderers. But anyhow, that's a different story. In regards to this, my only concern is if these people, the divers, the deceased divers, which I must offer condolences to the family, but if it is, they did in fact have communication devices between those on top and them who went down. That's one. And two, people saying that, they banned the son from and anybody else from trying. He did state that he went down. After saving the first person, he went down again, but he could not find anybody. And when he came back up, they didn't allow him to go back. And there is an understanding in regards to this because no safety officer is going to allow and risk additional lives because there was a problem. They couldn't find where the problem was, and to send somebody else or another team down before they could ascertain where the issue was would have been foolish and foolhardy, to say the least, and putting additional lives at risk. Peradventure, they did that. And the other three divers was lost. What would have been the statements now? Not that the people were irresponsible and the safety officer needs to be terminated and jailed for his criminal activity because he allowed people, knowing there was a problem, he allowed people to go down and put additional lives at risk. Come on, people. It's time to think a little bit and stop letting foolish people lead you astray.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hello, good morning. Good afternoon, sorry.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Pastor. Three things. A while back, about a month ago, a youth man went to do eye surgery in some hospital in Trinidad. And somebody else had his name. And the surgery that was supposed to be performed on him wasn't performed. They performed other surgery and spoiled the boy's eyes or something like that.
That's San Fernando. That's San Fernando General Hospital.
Okay. Another incident with Kiantec. Some supervisor was to take off something, and they assumed that the guy took off the thing. When they asked the person, he said, yeah, man, here, about 10 minutes ago, I tell him, brother, you don't operate so. That is unprofessional. And you know what happened? That cost somebody the life. Right? Because accidents that happen. And like all other people, what I listening to, we are an extremely irresponsible people because all of us are just making assumptions. Just like Mr. David Abdullah. I want to tell you, Mr. Abdullah, the man who tell you what he tell you, I sure, just like you, he wasn't there. Right? The Minister of Energy at a press conference, Mr. Singh, Renaku Singh, Bihari, all of this make me look bad, boy. All the education we just claim we have and literacy rate, and we just look real stupid. Because before the man started to take questions, Mr. Young made it clear. I wasn't there. We wasn't there. We doing the best to bring the best to have a proper investigation. Why this wasn't so? Who the hell? And you can see all the yellow colors showing, boy. So what I want to say in closing now, boy, if there's the level we vibrating at now, where we taking tragedy, boy, it's called political points, boy. Because we so hate our government and so hate our man. And you know why I realize too? Plain talk bad manners. You know why it's not no racist. I wonder if most 5 men looking like me with this outrage would be happening, boy. Something wrong. Because I feeling it personally. People watching it like if you're Dr. Rowley now, certain people. And you know what make it sad? When you go in certain communities and you see that crime and this and that and the other, and you check the educational level, they say, yeah, boy, them fellas are educated, this. But when people who are supposed to be educated, who are supposed to be leaders, encouraging dotishness in the society, we were vibrating low. And I was disappointed, boy. I feel we hit a new low. I don't know how low we could go, but brother, this kind of desperate fight for power, we have to pray for this country. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Pastor Guzman.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to all those locked on 91.9 and Constructive talk. I again want to send out my condolences to the family, coming from my family also. It's a very horrific way for your family member to die. Because when they left home, they didn't leave home saying, we will not be coming back. Yes, you know, it's a very dangerous job, but you still don't expect that is going to happen, right? Especially so many persons at one time doing that job. My nephew himself is a diver. He knows one of the guys, so he's trying to cope with that news also. And he would have explained certain things to me, but I'm waiting to hear till the report comes out. So that's what I want to touch on quickly. We clearly see that there has been a failure of some procedure protocol. That is clear for everybody to see. However, I would wish that we would wait until the report comes out from the investigation, because what is happening now, we are bombarded by so much information, which may not be evidence, of course, and so much things that it's depressing. And then they have, I think I'm seeing the bodies posted on social media. Think about how these families feeling. Yes, in the emotion and all that, they pander to Philip Alexander and this one, whatever. But as people emotions are being played with, and I hope that those who are opposed do not use this as an Andrea Barrett moment and use these people for their own agenda, because when they are finished, they're going to leave the people there to deal with all the emotions, and they're going to move on to the next hot topic. I hope people keep a level head. Yes, it's an emotional issue. Yes, you may not like this PNM and this one and Dr. Rowley. However, it's people's lives you're talking about, and we must treat these people's lives with dignity. And what the opposition is doing, like people like Mr. Abdullah and Philip Alexander and the Roges and all of them are doing, they are just taking this tragedy and they are using it. You can clearly see that, because it will not have been the first time that a diver may have lost his life, or even fishermen lost their life, and you haven't seen this kind of renewed and this kind of behavior. So I want to appeal to them at the end of the day. We're already going through COVID-19 3 years now. We have our own personal issues we're dealing with also. And for you all to continue, because we had it with Andrea Barrett. When before Andrea Barrett, there were scores of women who were killed, raped, murdered, tortured, mutilated. One had her head in the street and her body one way. They didn't make a fuss and candlelight vigil for those things at all. But when Andrea Barrett's situation came, yes, it was unfortunate. It was a candlelight vigil here and this here, and like they wanted for a political party. Look, when the girl died in that store there on Charlotte Street, people still shopping, they're comfortable, and they found her body rotten in that place. I am there. Where was the vigils? Where was the outrage? Where was the what? Nothing. So I'm just saying again, I hope that we can stop this kind of macabre behavior that we have now, especially seeing the opposition and this man who, like he's a lagger, who dragging coffin all to the streets of Trinidad and Tobago, We need to stop it because we're talking about people's lives here, people's emotions here, people are frazzled, they're razzled, they're stressed, all kind of thing. And stop inciting on people when they're emotionally in a position where everything is like out there in the open. Stop using that. It's human beings we're talking about. I want us to stop. I want Kamala Persad-Bissessor to sit back if she has any humanity, because they like to put her as the mother of the nation and grandmother, all that. Mom, if you're really a mother and a grandmother, sit back, pull in your children who support you and tell them stop this behavior. In the absence of that, you do not deserve even to be the opposition leader in this country, and the people who support you don't deserve to be members of parliament, and you have to continue to follow others. Check all yourself, because at the end of the day, we have to live here in Trinidad and Tobago, all races together. Yes, we have our challenges, but always stop creating more pressure. And for the Africans and them who continue to follow this nonsense, let me tell you something. After 400 years of enslavement, or let's stop behaving like slave Negroes, please. Like house Negroes, please. Get a ball, pay a balls or something, and stand up, man up, and do what is right for our country, for your family, and for yourself. Thanks, Pastor. Go reach home safely.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Google.
Hi, how are you, sir?
I am good. I want to agree with a lot of what the last caller said, because what I am seeing here, in the absence of any final determination as to what actually took place there, below the sea. What has happened now is that this thing has degenerated into political and racial football. Racial football, and I totally agree with her. With the caller before her. That any of the people looking like you or me, if this would have been the response. Because what I am seeing here, Google, is Andrea Barrett's situation all over again. All over again.
Yep.
Look, you recall when Ashanti Riley died, there were no candlelight vigils. None whatsoever. As soon as Andrea Barrett died, 2-3 months later, all over this country, awash, even Tobago, awash with candles and flambos and all kinds of things all over this country. And only when people started talking about, well, what about Ashanti Riley? Only then they started to put up placards about Ashanti Riley and Andrea Barrett. This has degenerated into a nasty political and racial war. I've got to tell you one more thing before I go. If there's a parliamentary sitting on Friday in the lower house, I bet you now, as night follows day, that they are going to raise the issue of fire. They're going to raise the issue about the chairman of Paria. You know why? Because he's the husband of the Speaker of the House. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. And it is to scandalize the woman, shame her, and embarrass her in the parliament. That is, and they are going to do it. You follow it and you'll see. But you know, take note, the CEO is not like you or me, eh? The CEO is like the unfortunate deceased gentleman. I bet you they don't call for his removal. They will call for Newman George's removal. And it is very clear to me what this whole thing is about. And in any case, I have to ask the question. You would notice that Roger is involved in everything, eh?
Yep.
Light bridges, this, that, that. And I ask the question, if Roger had gotten the franchise to run that refinery, would he have been attacking Dr. Rowley like this today? What is his real motive? It's politics. And he's prepared to side with the UNC. People whom he accused of the worst forms of corruption when they were in power with Bissessor. Now he's in bed with them. Walking with mannequin all on the Brian Lara promenade. Now he's hugging them up. And they are the best of friends. It's so very sad, but predictable. It's very predictable. And I am, you see this African man you're talking to? I am not going to be fooled by them and their answers. I know exactly what this is all about. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Afternoon.
Listen, the previous caller, that young woman, she always makes some sterling contributions. And she hasn't failed us at all. She did a magnificent job there a while ago. I mean, just to think, everything just nasty politics. What is going on in this little island? People are becoming more and more sick. Is it that? I would never forget, if I needed anything to show me who this Gary person was, is when he selected the Barrett's funeral to go to. The Riley girl was not important, but he went to Barrett's funeral. You tell me this, how plain can you see what people are trying to say, what they're saying? But anyways, I thank that woman there for her contribution. She's sterling and on the button. Thank you so much, my dear. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google.
Good afternoon.
A pleasant good afternoon to you, and a pleasant good afternoon to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Pastor Google, I'm hearing the discussion, right? And I'm not hearing those in the go along, get along P&M gang asking the most pertinent question that can be asked in Trinidad and Tobago. So let me ask it for those who are free to ask that question. My question is, where is the blackest man in Trinidad and Tobago, his words not mine, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, with respect to this situation? Pastor Google, it is sad that you are the Prime Minister of a country and people are dying, and the best you could do is to issue a press release on your Facebook page. Pastor Google, I want to believe, I want to give the blackest man in Trinidad and Tobago, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, an out. I want to believe that he's not in Trinidad and Tobago. I want to believe that. Because, Pastor Google, if I was the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, here is the solution. This is what I would have done. I would have immediately called a press conference. I would have called the Minister of National Security, the Minister of Energy, the CEO of Paria, the Chairman of Paria Fuel, and any other individuals that I think is very important, and come to the public of Trinidad and Tobago and be very transparent with what happened based on the information that he knows, because he's in charge of National Security Council in Trinidad and Tobago. So he will have information that many other people don't have, and be transparent to the people. But it seemed to me that the blackest man in Trinidad and Tobago, his words not mine, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, is silent like a lamb. Now, Pastor Google, I'm going to close on this. He was also silent with respect to the people and he beat them. I could understand that, because those are poor, black, disadvantaged people. My words here, not the people of the Beatum words. Those were poor, black, disadvantaged people of the Beatum. And he had a conference in Laventille, but he couldn't go over and visit them. I could understand him being silent in this. But Pastor Google, in this situation, I want to understand, why is the blackest man in Trinidad and Tobago, the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, silent? Pastor Google, you have a splendiferous, fantabulous, marvelous rest of the day. Bye-bye.
All right, so the Prime Minister's silence on this situation. They want him to talk about this situation. They want him to come out. As one caller said earlier on, that the investigation, they launched an investigation into the matter. So, there are callers who are saying we have people talking without all the information. Right? The Minister of Energy would have had a press conference. He is the Minister of Energy. He came out and he had a press conference saying that they launched an investigation. They have external people coming in, and they're going to do an investigation into the matter and stuff like that. So the Minister of Energy, the minister who is in charge of the ministry, made a statement. We want the Prime Minister to talk still, right? You want the calling on the Prime Minister, make a statement without any information, proper information coming forth. You want the Prime Minister to say something. Talk. Come out and talk. All right. So you want him to talk. You know, when he talk, he'd have a problem with when he talk. When he don't talk, they have a problem when he don't talk. Can't please people, you know. Mr. Manning said it, you know. One of the hardest countries in the world to govern is Trinidad, you know. Two callers before him made a statement, and I want to just reiterate what they said, which is, people are using these men debt to get political mileage. And the people who have issues, whatever issues they have, are jumping on the bandwagon. So you have people who are going out there, they use Andrea Barrett's situation to try to gain political mileage. It failed. Now you're seeing the same players, the same players from the candlelight vigil are reappearing again. I see the lighting candle already. All you feel it is a joke. I want to show you. I want to show you quickly. Come on the live and see this. Come on the live and see they already start back to light candles. Right? Come on the live and see. Candles are starting back to be lit. People using this as a tool to get into governance.
We don't know. But they know what they're doing. This is why they didn't care to get those men out alive. They wanted them dead. And yes, they have been sacrificed until we know what is really happening in Trinidad and Tobago. They are quaking. Those in management, they're quaking in their boots because they know what they're doing. We don't know. But they know what they're doing. This is why they didn't care to get those men out alive. They wanted them dead. And yes, they have been sacrificed, but let it not be a sacrifice that goes in vain. Let it be one that we would get answers and we would know what is really taking place in our beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago. May God bless all of you. Have a good night.
You see what I'm telling you? Same players, different song, same singers. Same singers. What do you think is a joke? So they're using the debt of these men to ride into office or to get political awareness or for people to say, oh, good. So they're using this as a, because you hear Wall Street come in and say, oh, the blackest man, he says so. They talking. The minister talk. But the minister talk is not enough. What the minister had to say was not enough. But when I come back, I'll play what the minister had to say. And you tell me if Dr. Rowley should still come out and have something to say. I'll come back after this.
There's a lot of things
Who is that? In the morning when I wake up, I will sing my praise unto you, my God. I will shout and dance to you, for you have been me help forever and ever. Hey, my God is good. Oh. Hey, my God is good. Oh. Hey, hey, my God is good. Oh. Hey, from the top in the morning when you wake up, You should sing your praise unto your God. You should shout and dance to him, for he has been your help forever and ever. Hey, your God is good, oh. My God is good. Say, hey, your God is good, oh. My God is good, oh. Everything not double, double, oh. Everything not double, double, oh. Promotion double, double, oh. Your business double, double, oh. Your money double, double, oh. Your house go double, double, oh. Everything just double, double, oh. Everything just double, double, oh. Hey, my God is good, oh. My God is good, oh. Hey, my God is good, oh. Listen, listen. Tell him, say, Loué, Loué, Loué. Loué, yes, oh, Loué. 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 Let's go. Hey, everybody clap your hands. Tell him, say, Tarimboka, Tarimboka. Tarimboka, Tarimboka. Trinidad, just Tarimboka. Say you are good and your mercy is forever. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah, you are good and your mercy is forever. Hallelujah. Say you are good and your mercy is forever. Hallelujah. Tell it, say you are good and your mercy is forever. Hallelujah. Jehovah.
Hey guys, it's Aisha Wells here. Listen up. If you're considering selling or renting your house in Trinidad and Tobago, then call Keelan George with O'Neill's Real Estate Group. He's a good friend of mine and he's been in the business for over 6 years. First, selling real estate in Atlanta, Georgia, and now right here in Trinidad and Tobago. He has a strategic online marketing presence that actually attracts thousands of home buyers and renters. Plus, with his home selling advice and techniques, he's getting homes sold really fast. Keelan will actually guarantee you sell your home, or get this, you can cancel the listing agreement and pay nothing at any time. That's right, you heard me, nothing at any time. Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, people. Check out www.o'neillrealestatetT.com. O'Neill is spelled O-N-E-I-L, or just call Keelan direct at 363-4030. That's 363-4030.
From the studio to the stage, every Friday between 3 to 4 p.m. Right here on the street, 919 FM. Radio you can see. Log on to our Facebook and YouTube so you can see live interviews and performances from some of our very own local superstars. Right here on the street, 919 FM. Shop at New City Mall and check out our premium selection of high-quality clothing and accessories for men and women. Save on all items with competitive prices and courteous service throughout the entire mall. New City Mall is located in the heart of Port of Spain with entrances at 3 Charlotte Street and number 41 Independence Square. We offer a variety of shirts, long and short sleeve, round and V-neck tops, vests, caps, hats, sunglasses, briefs, boxers, shorts, swim trunks, denim, jeans, long and 3/4, socks, sneakers, casual and athletic, shoes, dressy and fashionable, dresses, formal and casual, skirts, lingerie, undergarments, and a wide range of accessories. Come check us out, as we also have clothing and accessories like Levi's, Clarks, Armani Exchange, Hollister, American Eagle, Ralph Lauren, Nike Air Force and Air Max, Puma, Adidas, Timberland, Academics, Aeropostale, Old Navy, Forever 21, Hanes, Dockers, Guess, Converse, and so much more. We have barbers, hairstylists, as well as weave and wigs on sale. All at New City Mall. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Sale, sale, sale.
Every Friday, it's all about Fire Mood Soca Fridays with MC Duke and Selector Kochi from 6 straight to 9 p.m. blazing all the latest and past soca hits. So remember, make it a line, make it a day, rock and come in, you know. It's all about Fire Mood Soca Fridays on the Street 919 FM. You don't know.
If you're experiencing pain, constipation, headaches, poor blood circulation, high or low blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, swollen or darkened feet, come visit us at Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. We at Health and Wealth Lifestyle offer a wide range of services. Come and experience our new 3D analyzer, which allows you to have a look inside your body. We also provide live blood analysis, iridology, ionic foot detox with foot soak and foot massage, aquatherapy, full body massage, and organic supplements on sale such as nano silver, nano zinc, body light, cold pressed sesame oil, and more. Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. For more information, call 275-8359 or 288-1108. Join Nicole Huggins for Health and Wealth Lifestyle every Monday from 9:05 a.m. to 9:55 a.m. right here on the Street 919 FM.
This is Wayne Delamore, Head Consultant and Director of Natural Health Solution, with over 15 years of experience in clinical nutrition and microscopy. We specialize in early detection and prevention. We incorporate evidence-based nutrition and science-driven analysis. Tune in to our educational program every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. right here on the Street 91.9 FM. For appointments, call 222-2189 or 304-5816. At Natural Health Solutions, we offer a natural solution to healthy living.
This is Bishop Aaron Williams from the Divine Problem Solving International Ministries, inviting you to be part of our broadcast on any given Thursday night from 12 midnight right on to 5 a.m. on Friday morning. And this broadcast is called Early Morning Gospel Market Program. Then we have on Tuesday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. the Holy Ghost Gospel Pharmacy. If you are sick and ailing, you can get from this particular pharmacy, from the pharmacist, the good things of life. Hallelujah. And any Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, break into the house of the Philistines. Hallelujah. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, hearing the babel of false doctrines that you encounter daily, it's about time you get close to God. God's word direct from his throne room in the name of Jesus.
God has good plans for his people. Why do you worry so much?
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's radio.
The Church of the Firstborn Assembly of number 399 Eastern Main Road, Waiko Sangre Grande, is pleased to present Pastors Morris and Agnes Johnson and guest. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Friday night, Sunday Ministry of Worship, Children Hour, and the Word from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesdays, see Jesus in every book of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Tuesday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And Friday night, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. All night prayer for our nation. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell everyone. For further information, visit with us at www.churchofthefirstbornassembly.org or on Facebook
Facebook. Email us at church668hope@gmail.com or call us at 753-1113 or 236-7271. Your free gifts and offerings will be greatly appreciated at Church of the Firstborn Assembly, account number 795222 at the First Citizens Bank.
Get in touch with God. Turn your radio on.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Viewing us as I go live with this press conference from the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries this morning, Monday the 28th of February 2022. I am here today as the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries in the government of Trinidad and Tobago, but I'm also here today as a father, a brother, a son, a cousin, and a concerned citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And I would like to start by expressing my sincerest condolences, empathy, and pain with the family, colleagues, and friends of our four fellow citizens, Kazim Ali, Yusuf Henry, Faisal Kurban, and Rishi Nagasa. Fellow citizens, we have all, since we began to get word last Friday, been feeling the pain that these families and the friends of these four gentlemen are going through. My prayers have been with these men and their families, as I'm sure yours have as well. From the moment I was first informed of this tragic accident at the Piarco airport on Friday evening, just around 7:30 p.m., that is last Friday, immediately I was concerned. Remained concerned through the course of the weekend, and I still am concerned. Before coming into this press conference a short while ago, I contacted Paria in one of the many points of contact and communication I've had with them since Friday night into Saturday morning, into Saturday night, into Sunday morning, Sunday into today. And unfortunately, the latest word I've gotten is at this time, so when I was just informed a short while ago, despite all of the operations, they still have not been able to recover the bodies of these four men, but they continue to work assiduously to be able to do so in a safe manner. I am not here today to defend anyone, any company, any individual, any procedure, nor am I here to get into technical details that should and must be left to those professionals with the necessary expertise and experience. That cannot be my task here today. I simply do not have that level of expertise. It is also my view that speculation and assumptions are not useful in these situations, and especially at this point in time. I would like the families of those men whose pain, trauma, hurt, frustration, and even anger I can only imagine, to know that from the government's perspective, we are concerned. We have been concerned, and we remain concerned. We understand the distress, the pain, and the emotions that have been running since this unfortunate accident and tragic incident on Friday afternoon last. Fellow citizens, I got a little experience of it directly on Saturday, just around midday, when I personally met and interacted with the families of these men. I have always directed from the first time I became aware of this tragic accident and incident that the priority must be to find these men, that all resources and focus must be to locate and find these 4 divers. Also, I had directed and asked that there be communication with the families and also the population, because the population was concerned as soon as they became aware of this incident. It is apparent that unfortunately on the communication side, it did not go as it should have. But I did continue to direct that the priority in these instances and in this specific circumstance had to be on finding, locating these men, and to do so safely without any further accidents, injuries, or worse yet, loss of life. I had cautioned on Saturday and before and throughout that people running these operations must not be distracted, and that all resources were to be focused on locating these men. I made that very clear in my position as minister and as a concerned citizen, and on behalf of the government of Trinidad and Tobago. I have listened very carefully to the families when I met with them on Saturday, to the persons who have been briefing me throughout, from PARIA, from the Ministry of Energy, Energy Industries, the public, and also others, because there's been a lot of commentary. And I can say safely that unfortunately at this time, no one person has all of the information and all of the facts that transpired leading up to and at the exact time and thereafter of this tragic accident. So again, speculation and assumptions should form no part of the current useful and productive conversation, but also those involved in the operations to locate and find these personnel, these persons, these brothers of ours, must remain focused. And I keep driving that point home to them at all times. Forget the distractions. You have a job to do, do it. Use whatever resources are necessary. You have the full green light from the government from the moment it happened on Friday to use the resources. As you all know at this stage, these men were employed by LMCS Limited, a subcontracting company that's had the expertise to do this type of operation. And in a short while, without getting into the technical side, I think it would be useful to share with the population a drawing that sets out exactly what it is we're dealing with. LMCS was the company that these divers were employed by. They got the contract from PARIA as a result of a competitive tendering process. And presumably it was based on their expertise and the work plan that they put forward to be able to do the job. So you have LMCS as the direct company involved carrying out the operation that unfortunately led to this tragic accident. They were hired by PARIA, PARIA being the fuel company. And it was at PARIA's facilities, which is offshore. I have been to the site. It's the first thing I did on Saturday morning, to go and see for myself, so I would have a sense of understanding as to what exactly was going on. So it is less than, I would say, a mile offshore. You can actually see it from the shoreline. And there are two pipelines that come out of the water. And I'll show it via drawing in a short while. Post this accident, you have had a number of entities involved in the exercise. Firstly, to try and rescue the men, and then turning to a finding of these men. You've had our Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, who have a level of expertise, understand that first responders responding to a situation may arrive there without all of the information, all of the tools that you would wish them to have. That is normal. It is the same thing, for example, if you have a car accident and the first responders reach there and they don't have what we call the jaws of life and these types of things. You had the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. Fortunately, because of the type of country we are, a number of other service providers made their way to the site when the Mayday went out and have been working along with PARIA and LMCS. PARIA themselves reached out to many industry experts to assist in an assessment and the provision of equipment and expertise during the last 72-hour roughly period. As I said, I had always cautioned that in these types of situations, you must focus your resources on the task at hand, and the task at hand has always been to locate these men. I was provided with at 2 o'clock on Saturday morning, 2:30 precisely, a chronology that exists almost on a 5 to 10 minute basis from the time that the 5 men entered the chamber at 2:15 p.m. on Friday afternoon, and as best as could be compiled, the chronology of events that took place thereafter, showing what took place. On Saturday, I personally made my way to PARIA's facilities, again alerting very few people with a clear directive that no one was to be distracted by my arrival there, because I did not want to be the source of any distraction from the job and task at hand. They did not know, the members of staff, that I was coming. In fact, I did not even go to where I was supposed to meet the general manager, etc., because I went directly to the source and to where the engineers were working in that command room to get a proper briefing and understanding of what exactly it is we were facing. Without distracting them, and after I'd been provided with an understanding of what they believed to have taken place on Friday, I then made my way to the facilities where I met with the family members. Again, cutting through some red tape to ask if all of the family members who were present be allowed in to meet with the general manager, one of the engineers who was there, and myself. Because of course it is important that we communicate with the families and that we listen to the families, and more importantly, that we tell them what was going on. I understand vividly, because I interacted with the families, the Henry family, where unfortunately they lost 2 sons in December. Other members, including family members who called one of their family members who came, and he was one of the people that dived into the water and helped get Mr. Boudram out. Importantly, we listened, and I left there with hope that at that stage the operations would have been successful in locating these men by that time, and also importantly that the family would have continued to have been communicated with. I'm going to ask that PARIA please make the necessary arrangements to bring whatever level of comfort can be brought to these family members as they go through this very devastating and tragic time in their lives, waiting for the recovery of their loved ones. We then went in, they gave me a briefing on what they planned as an operation. There were a number of options and alternatives. Again, it is not for me to get into that level of detail. That will be explained by the experts at the appropriate time as to how they would recover these men. Things change over time as they did risk assessments, as they looked at it, as outside experts came in. We did get outside experts, persons with expertise, to come to the table to assist in the risk assessment and to give the advice, we being PARIA and LMCS. Yesterday, when I was in contact with the personnel from PARIA, they held the meeting with LMCS and went through the plan that was being proposed by LMCS at that point in time. Unfortunately, over time, the various plans and options changed as a result of various risk assessments that were done and the experts were giving advice. I think at this time it's a good juncture for us to put up a slide that will give a graphic and visual illustration in as simple terms as possible as to what the scene looks like and what it is we're facing, because there's a lot of speculation outside there and a lack of understanding. And I thought it important for at least this diagram to be put up with a very brief, high-level layman's explanation of the scenario that exists there. Again, I am here to cast no judgment, no defense on anyone who's involved in the operations, but I think we, the citizens, and especially for the family's sake, need to have a graphic illustration of exactly the site, scene, and scenario that we're dealing with. Can the slide please be put up? What you're seeing here are what are described as berth 5 and berth 6, which are offshore installations, and literally all you see coming up above the sea level are two pipes at the top. The one that has a heading above it, the hyperbaric chamber, is the berth where the work was being carried out by LMCS. The hyperbaric chamber was inserted over this pipeline, and what it then does is it pumps out the water to create a airspace for persons to work in. The task at hand, as explained to me, was for them to change some basically nuts in a certain way on that to basically fix a leak on the pipeline, which was done successfully over the past week. And what was to take place on Friday now was the testing of the work that had been done and the removal of two flanges that had been inserted to prevent, along where you see that red pipeline coming out, to prevent liquids from coming up. And in that hyperbaric chamber is where these 5 men were working. 4 of them were the divers working on it. The 5th man, who is our fortunate survivor, Mr. Budram, was actually the rescue diver, and hence the reason why he had on his tanks. Right where you see the red, which is in clear, meeting the blue, what you see as a riser at berth 5, there were 2 flanges installed there. The first one was a piece of rubber between 2 metal plates, and of course these flanges go and they meet between these 2 points. So they were inserted somewhere around here. 1, 2 pieces of metal and a rubber piece in between, and the second would have been an inflatable that was blown up. From what we can gather at this stage, unfortunately, when the first one was removed, something took place that created a suction, sucking the 5 divers in from what was a air chamber into this 30-inch pipeline that you see going along in the shape of a U. So I thought it important that we understand that on this berth 6, which is where the work was taking place, that this suction came in and something happened. There's then 1,200 feet running at the bottom, going across, parallel to the sea level surface. And then it connects with a U, an elbow, to the riser at berth 5. Again, another 30, that is the 30-inch pipeline. Sometime thereafter, in the rescue operations, the persons there managed to get 2 sets of equipment. One they actually got from Shell, I believe, which are ROVs that they sent down into the pipeline. It couldn't go in. because you needed to send some sort of mechanical or technical equipment in to see what was taking place in this pipeline. Eventually, through one of the underwater cameras, if you go back to the diagram, you would see from that berth 6 elbow along the pipeline, 120 feet, they met an obstruction that was diving equipment stuck. So far, I've been informed that the thought process is that this diving equipment is 2 air tanks that men were carrying on their backs, and that unfortunately blocked the ROV and the camera system from going any further to assist in the location of the men. This diagram sets out the type of operation that it is. You must understand that even though the berth 6 pipeline was cleared of fuels, there would still have been some residual fuel. There's always danger in performing these tasks. But this is what it is. So it was not a simple just dive in, go into the pipeline, as much as our emotions may want us to have done that. So the teams continue to work with the outside experts, LMCS and PARIA together, to come up with options as how best to get past what you saw as those obstructions in the pipeline, 1,200 feet of pipeline running parallel to the surface. On Sunday, the Ministry of Energy, very early in the morning, had an emergency meeting at the ministry, and we asked our acting permanent secretary, Ms. Sandra Fraser, along with Mr. Mark Rudder, who's the director in charge of petroleum operations, to go to PARIA at the scene and to see what was going on and to provide feedback, because of course the Ministry of Energy as a regulator will have a role to play. That took place, information was being provided back, but again with clear instructions, do not distract those who have to perform their tasks from doing so. In a nutshell, that is what has been taking place. The teams who are not here, who are working from PARIA, LMCS with the experts, are focused on doing what it is. It is very easy for persons to speculate and to say, not moving as quickly as they should, there should be other things to be done. That is not for me at this stage to cast any judgment on or to defend any actions, nor is it that of the government. I am hoping, like the rest of the population, with all of the concerns that I have, and for the sake of these families who have met, that very shortly we get word that these men have been found and that their bodies are returned safely. This is unfortunately a tragic accident, and one that has taken place in other areas around the world in these types of operations, meaning underwater diving. We all know that it is extremely dangerous as an underwater diver doing types of operations. Our heartfelt condolences, sympathy, empathy, and support go out to all of the members of the family as they go through these difficult times. And the government will be directing PARIA and LMCS and others to do what is necessary for these families at the end of the day. As I conclude my part, after consultation with the Honorable Prime Minister, I want to inform the population that we have taken a decision that there will be an independent investigation carried out by the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries. But we made it very clear that it will not be carried out by the Ministry of Energy's personnel alone. We have gone to both, I personally have spoken to both the executives, the heads of BP and Shell in Trinidad this morning, and I've asked both of them for their assistance and to identify personnel from BP and Shell. What I envisage at this stage is a 5-panel investigative committee, probably to be chaired by one of the permanent secretaries at the Ministry of Energy, to be supported by independent professional experts with the requisite expertise. And in speaking to the heads of BP and Shell, They've agreed that they will collaborate to make sure that there's no duplicity of expertise in who they volunteer to this exercise. So one expert from BP, one expert from Shell. We've also identified that we need an expert professional diver who has had sufficient experience in these underwater dives to do with oil and gas installations. And then we'll leave space for another person with the expertise to fill that scoop. I've also told the permanent secretaries this morning that that panel must be provided with a lawyer to provide the legal side. This investigation will take place. This investigation will be charged with the responsibility of going in, analyzing what plans were put in place before the job started, what was taking place during this unfortunate and tragic accident, what took place thereafter, an assessment, an analysis, a critique of what took place at all levels. Importantly, recommendations, identifications of any gaps that may have existed along the way. Fellow citizens, at this stage, respectfully, it is not for any of us to be playing judge and jury on anyone. This, without any doubt, is a tragic accident and one that we all wish never took place, but unfortunately it has. And as I end, before I take questions, on behalf of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, I'd like to say to all of those family members that I met and I can see in front of me as I witness their pain and listen to their frustration and their hurt and the worry from the sister of the three brothers, the father, Mr. Henry, Ms. Kubran, and all of these people. May God be with you. May you continue to have the strength to deal with this unfortunate ordeal and understand that every civic-minded, right-thinking citizen of Trinidad and Tobago stands with you at this time. Thank you. At this stage, I invite questions.
All right, so we're taking your calls. 342-0081. 342-0081, 771-1791, and 466-5391. And, you know, sometimes sitting down here in front of these computers and reading some of the comments and looking at some of the statements, you know, all I'm doing is I played a video of, you know, and then I now playing the press conference from the minister. And I'm just, you see, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Mr. Wall Street, I wanted to come up from PLM, go along, get along gang, and Dr. Rowley alone study what's going on in America, how many black people have been slaughtered in that country, and what you're saying about that. Eh? You're the king of Wall Street. What you're saying about that? God, man. Eh?
So the numbers to call 342-0081, 342-0081, 771-1791, 771-1791, 466-5391. All right? So let me play some voice notes while I wait for calls to come in.
Pastor Google, I am so shocked because I did not hear all of Minister Young's statement when he did the address. I am shocked to hear Minister Young referring or mentioning the gentleman's name, the father of one of the boys. And when I heard the father on TV saying that Mr. Young slighted him or shirked him and did not, well, like if he didn't care if The guy, he actually said, my heart melted only to hear Mr. Young just now. Oh, please. Mischief is afoot. On the line, mischief is afoot.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Pastor Gogo.
Hi.
Hi, Pastor Gogo. I just want to say, having had that experience of a very close family having drowned and his body was never recovered. I'm happy for the family that their family was recovered. Because Pastor Gogo, you never get closure. I just wanted to say that.
All right. Thank you very much for calling.
Okay.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hey.
Sorry for the family loss, you know?
Yeah, man.
This is a hard one. I don't think, Pastor Google?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I don't think any company will want something like this to happen. And I don't think we should make this a political thing. No matter how you're displeased or you think with the government, no government in calling this staff man any one of the citizens. And some people like to bring everything into politics at the end of the day. This is an unfortunate thing what happened. Hats off for the government when meeting with the family, because that is the correct thing to do. Hats off to the government for calling an investigation onto the matter what happened. But some people, like I was listening to something on Facebook with one of the workers down there, and brother, you didn't come across good. You didn't come across good. You come across like you want to blame our company for a situation. Let me tell you something, Unfortunate thing does happen, Pastor Google. Nobody plans it. You understand? All we know, by the grace of God, all we could do, we could pray for this family right now. It's already happened. You're going to call up the actual person name on Facebook and all kind of thing. You could cause situation, bodily harm to this person. And you're not thinking about what you're doing. Why all you are doing these things? In order, you all tell yourself, if you all make Paria look bad, you all make the government look bad. That is wrong. That everything is about politics in Trinidad. They're going to change all the ways, change them all the wicked ways. We start to pray more.
All right.
Have a blessed day, Pastor Google.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon.
How are you this afternoon? Pastor Google?
I'm good. Just somebody talking to me in the studio here, so I'm a little distracted. But go ahead, you make your contribution.
Pastor Google, since this incident happened, I cannot catch myself up to now. I'm a lot of pain because I know I felt it like it was my children. And Pastor Google, people must have feelings. They mustn't describe things when they don't know. Leave everything in God's hand and everything going to prevail itself. Pastor Google, have a blessed afternoon and journey home safe.
All right. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Pastor Google. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Paulus. I have a caller holding. I just forget our foreign man holding there and end up taking your call and forget him that he was holding there.
Both off. I would like to extend my deepest condolences to the family of the 4 divers and their loved ones. And I'm so happy that I was able to hear the energy minister said that he spoke and he was on contact with the family of one of the victims. Unlike what I saw on TV, I got to thank you for playing back that thing. Thank you very much for allowing me this contribution.
All right, Mr. Paulus Payne. Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google.
Hi, sorry about that, sir.
That's all right. Pastor Google, listen, I call it from New York here, and I heard when your program started, when you played the series where how things could happen with this dive and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had to tell you, Pastor Google, you're the real boss.
Yeah, but you know, there are still people who You know, there are still people who want to play on the emotions of this whole thing and bring it across and not seeing the holistic view of it, you know. People just want to hear the emotional part of it, you know.
Pastor Google, I just call it to tell you thanks. Because here, and I call it to tell you, don't apologize to people when you're playing factual things.
Yes,
you
sir.
understand?
Yes,
don't
sir.
let them, because a lot of people in Trinidad thrive off of misinformation and false information.
Yeah.
So you don't need to apologize to them. I hear you saying you're watching the screen there and you play. I know Stuart Young had a press conference. I didn't hear it. I was happy to hear it now again.
Yeah.
And I hear the gentleman's father saying that Stuart Young slighted him and all that kind of thing. And I mean, Pastor Google, I'm telling you, he's our boss. I had to give it to you. And let me tell you something. I listened to you since you used to work in the night from 12 to 5 in the morning. So me listening to you now.
Yes,
he's
sir.
our boss.
Thank you.
Take win, brother.
Thank you
Take
very
win.
much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Respect.
Yeah, man.
Respect.
Yeah. Thanks again. Hello, good afternoon.
Let me say good afternoon to you.
Hey, you ain't gonna close off my show, eh? I have something to play, eh? You ain't gonna close off my show, eh?
Right. About 2 minutes. I'll look at you 5 minutes. But Pastor Google, from this to 2. We have time, man. Pastor Google, I want to thank you very much for bringing up this topic here. Because so much to say at a small space of time. Because after seeing the family in pain, because Pastor, it's easy to penetrate to people who in pain. And these individuals who went up there, they went and penetrated in this family. Because this family was up there peacefully waiting for answer. And these individuals run up there and choke what I observe, what I feel in my heart, choke these families, cause the families to pull gate, to cause security, to behave bad. Even if Paria wanted the family to come inside in the conference room and sit down. There was individual, what I observe, Kingsley observed, pushing needle in the family to behave bad. But look at all of us, the 1.4 million people, had go out to these 4 divers. And I know Paria and the government will do everything in the power to make sure the family comfortable. And if not, well, then they will hear my voice. But yes, I will say it again. The government and Paria will do everything in the power to make sure the family comfortable by counseling, by finance, by making sure they're okay. They have to do that. People die. But when you see, I'm going to Google. I tell you, I'll 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah. No, I will never have video to showing you.
When you see, Pastor Google, that individual known people, because they turn these 4 deaths into Rowdy must go, Storton must go, Faris must go, Tara Singh must go, the whole damn Pinem must go. And there's a person, Pastor Google, who is leading the get along gang to get rid of Dr. Rowley. I would tell Pastor Google, the person do not live here.
All right. Let me play something there now. And let's have a less than a short time. Let me play this video. I want to show this video. And I want to talk about this video. I want to analyze the video. I want you all to come on the live. I want you all to listen to the video. And I will stop it from in between, or I will let play. And then I would conceal some of the statements that the gentleman making. I want you all to listen to what the statements that the gentleman making. Right? There are some emotional bits in it. Right? Where he was very emotional. But I want you to listen, because people not listening, you know. People hear what they want to hear. And I always remember one of my adopted sister telling me, people have selective hearing and they hear what they want to hear. And because you want to blame the government or blame somebody, You understand? You would totally misconstrue or misunderstand what this fella saying. Listen what this fella had to say, and then I'll come back. Listen.
Incident happened at around 2 o'clock. I was called an hour after. My brother called me. He said, everybody's shaking on the badge and nobody know what to do. I gathered two of my divers and we came to the rescue. When we went, we reached on site. We reached on site about a half an hour after that call. We went, we organized to dive and check the chamber. And we noticed that it didn't have nobody inside, right? The other thing is that one of the divers was on the top of the riser, which was just before, banging on the pipe. Nobody after an hour, he banging an hour inside. Nobody to rescue him. Only when me and my divers came, we rescued him. When we rescued him, he told me my father is right behind him. Go down for your father. It took me about 50 minutes to organize my gear to go down on the pipe. I swim down on the pipe about 70 feet down. I did not locate him. I located his dive down. I tried to swim as far as I could. I did not locate him. After we came back up, we told them that we didn't find nobody else. So we had to try a different alternative. When we came back, manager, so-called manager, said, do not dive into the pipeline again. And I asked, who is the manager? Say that. Nobody didn't want to say the name. But I would say the name because this man, Colin Piper, close, yeah, right? Tell my men not to dive the pipeline again, right? Then again, they bring the professional dive boat, Subsea Global, to use the commercial equipment, which was the right thing, but that was hours after. We still had time to save them, guys. Still had time. But you know what the orders they get? The orders they get was to plug the flange and block the divers from surfacing back up where we rescue the first man.
All right, so I will stop it there because I don't want to see, I want to play the other part of what he said. But he said something that I just wanted to replay, where he talked about the company doing the right thing by bringing professionals.
Said, do not dive into the pipeline again. And I asked, who is the manager? Say that. Nobody didn't want to say the name. But I would say the name because this man, Colin Piper, close, yeah, right? Tell my men not to dive the pipeline again, right? Then again, they bring the professional dive boat, Subsea Global, to use the commercial equipment, which was the right thing, but that was hours after. Yeah, right? Tell my men not to dive the pipeline again, right? Then again, they bring the professional dive boat, Subsea Global, to use the commercial equipment, which was the right thing, but that was...
Right, so I just want to play that over and over so that you will hear where he said that they brought the professionals, right? They brought the professionals. His issue was that they take too long. His issue was that they take too long And the investigation will bring out all of that. But you know what he said? He said that the manager tell him, don't go down there because the professionals will deal with it. Right? All I want to say, Trinidad and Tobago, is I want you all to notice on the side of the man who talking. You see who on the side of him? So all of the naysayers and all of the people who want to come and talk nonsense in your head, I hope you realize who is the man sitting down next to him. If you ain't see him and partially see him in part of the video, you saw the logo. And I hope you know who that is. You understand? So whoever with this nonsense, and I show you all already where the candlelight vigil movement is revived. Let me go back to the phone lines before I say the wrong thing. I just want to make sure all see the man who was holding the microphone and who was sitting next to him. Right? And I will put it in who hate black people. Because he called us monkeys and all sorts of names. Sitting down next to this man. Play with for fools. Not this one. Could play with the emotions of plenty other people. But you see, moi, not me. Let other people take up the mantle of being fool. I ain't going through that time. Alright, so let me take this caller. Alright, I want to take a call here. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, Pastor Google. That guy who was talking to Philip there. That guy who was talking to Philip, he is not a professional diver. They are divers. They didn't go and do no professional training to dive. And I think, Pastor Google, everybody, as you said, we have to wait for the proper investigation. Because these fellas in this line had no radio, they had no cord, no line, no nothing. So something was lapsing on the platform. Something was lapsing on the platform. And I think, as you said, let's all wait for the proper investigation to take place. So God bless you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, it's a shame African people still line up and they like people. They like people. You're thinking, Doctor.
All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Pastor Google. I wanted to bring up an issue here, but while you're talking on it. So firstly, I want to reflect back on night one when the explosion took place. And that was a plan that was done for a while. And I mean, everybody, I felt it. I lived close to the area. And to date, we heard an investigation was taking place and we didn't hear anything into the matter. Secondly, coming now with this issue with the divers, condolences here to the family and what, as you say, we're waiting for investigation. However, Pastor Google, it is negligence on both sides of the parties because it is said that Paria, it was contracted that they had signed a contract with Paria with the company. So therefore, I'm assuming that all protocols would have been in place, like, the OSHA and health and safety, site visits would have been done, and all these things would have been done before, attempting to investigate and go further into the diving of the job. So therefore, whilst we hear many people talk and make their own assumption, we have to look at the blaming the two parties. And thirdly, why didn't the CEO or the director of Paria didn't come out at least when the incident took place and say some sort of comforting words so that the family would have been updated as to what was taking place? And why wait until that issue escalated and then speak out on the matter? Thank you.
I hear you, caller. So, Trinidad and Tobago, here's where I have to leave it. I think I would have done my part. I would have played the relevant information. I would have shown you the relevant information. And it's up to you now to wait until the investigation happens and come forth with the, because the caller would have talked about the investigations with other stuff. I hear you, caller. But this one, we'll wait and see.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Tune in to the Street 919 FM every Thursday from 10:05 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. for the program Straight and Narrow, The Way of Life, The Health Store, being brought to you by Mrs. Arlene Collins Mohammed. For more information, check us out on Facebook or Instagram at Straight and Narrow, or visit our website at www.opulence.com/Arlene for Life. You can also call or WhatsApp at 309-4697 or 620-9379.
Tune in to the Street 919 FM every Saturday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. to listen to the live Temple of Restoration, Pastor Curlin and the team. The Temple of Restoration is located at number 12 Endeavor Road, Chaguanas, opposite the Curab taxi stand. For more information, contact 488-4413 or 777-8691. The Temple of Restoration, where Jesus